everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am one of your hosts, Ryan Doze, joined and flanked by two of the greatest co-hosts in all of the Nine Realms. Whether Asgard is standing or it lies in ruins, like the beginning of our tale tonight, they are constant. One of them is all Phasiant. He is Phaz. And one of them is also the Prince of Preparedness. Eric is also here. The three of us we're starting a little bit of a journey tonight, Eric. Are you hyped for the creator spotlight we're starting tonight?
I am hyped. I'm channeling my 1998 excitement through a series of slang words, and I can say that this run kicks off, and I think it's all that. I think it's da bomb.
This is 90s slang? God,
1998. This run is hella cool, and it starts out.
Wait, hella came back. Hella's a recent one.
That works two ways.
It is hella. Ooh, it's hella cool.
There you go.
Did we say the name yet? And do you want me to say the name? I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited because it's a run that I came to later in my Thor reading, and I'd always thought about it as being dorky or not as well done or sort of immature, not as thought through. And when I read through it, really, really enjoyed it. So I'm excited that we're going to be visiting the Jurgens saga in our Journey into Jurgens.
We are. So, but Phaz, I will throw to you in a second because I want to know how hyped you are for Dan Jurgens' run of Thor on ATB, because I know you have thoughts. But for those of you that maybe don't know, or you're coming to the podcast kind of more recently, we have done 2 full-length creator spotlights where we take chunks of a creator, mostly the writers, their runs on Thor, and we just kind of take 4 or 5 issues at a time. We're taking 8 at a time tonight, starting the Journey into Jurgens. But we have covered Jason Aaron's run of Thor, which was formative for, I think, kind of all of us. And then Walt Simonson's run of Thor is one we finished up earlier this year. And that run is widely considered one of, if not the best run of Thor ever. And now we're kind of in uncharted territory. Like for myself, I've never read the full run of Jurgens on Thor. Yeah, the guy that started the Thor podcast has not read.
Ryan's never journeyed into Jurgens.
I've never journeyed into Jurgens, but I am excited to give it a shot. Vaz, I want to know though, how hyped are you for the start of this journey tonight into Jurgens?
Well, listeners, it's the shockingly mortal Phaz back. I'm still the all Phazer, but I'm not feeling quite as immortal as I used to be. But I'm excited. I'm excited to journey into Jurgens. I only journeyed into Jurgens once. I did it over the course of 3 or 4 days a year ago. So I'm excited to take my time, read it. Now that I know kind of where it's going, some of the shocking stuff might not hit me the same way. So I'm excited to see how with the benefit of hindsight and with the benefit of omniphascience that Eric and I are developing by reading every Thor comic, I think I'm going to really enjoy it. So I'm excited.
Hold on, time out. Eric doesn't get his version of omniscience by himself.
I mean,
or version of omniscience?
Yeah, whatever.
Eric gets his. Eric gets his own. He's got to think of something that is Zeus related because mine is Odin related.
Oh my god!
Ryan, did I get you with my 98 slang?
Oh my god, that was so good. Here's the thing: is over the course of like however long this first episode of Journey into Jurgens goes, I am going to forget that you have that list ready, and I'm going to crack multiple times. As I know, like longtime listeners, like, does he get through one episode without just like breaking out into girly laughter? No,
it's just like the goats in Love and Thunder, right? When you forget about them, Eric's going to bring them back.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start screenshotting whenever the characters use 98 jargon, because I think it happens more than we realize. And reading back, I'm just like, ooh, do people talk like that in the 90s? Yep, they sure did.
So, I mean, maybe it's fair to like kind of start this is 1998. We're starting in May. But like Thor is, I mean, he's kind of at a little bit of a crossroads here. Because Heroes Reborn is happening. Like we're bringing back like a lot of heroes are starting their volume 2. Thor had gotten up into the 500s, 600s, just in his first volume. I want to double check that.
502, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. Which is lame. Why didn't they end on 500? What were they doing?
Hey, come on, 502.
We're gonna find out in a little while, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Listeners, we've been beating around it a bit. Listen to Eric and my Journey into Mystery. It's not Journey into Jurgens, it's something else. The Deific Duo is reading all of Thor. You're going to want to be there. You're going to want to read along. We're on like 230 or something. Come around with us.
I would just like, really briefly, before we start with issue 1, like, who is Dan Jurgens? Like, Dan Jurgens is writer, penciler. He's done everything in the world of comics. The thing he's probably most famous for, outside of like us Thor sickos, he's probably most famous for the death of Superman.
Yeah,
like that's. I mean, as we're getting prepared for James Gunn's Superman. I mean, Dan Jurgens literally he killed Superman. So I don't know what else like in his career would be up there with that. I mean, he's done great runs on a lot of different characters. Probably every major character in both companies, he's at least touched or written at some point in his career.
Wait until you read this, Ryan, and you'll see what rivals Death of Superman.
So, I mean, it's fair to say he's Mr. Peak late 90s. I mean, that is the definitive comic event in the late 90s.
Yeah, and riding alongside Jurgens in this journey is we have John Romita Jr. on art, who is a name that modern fans, classic fans, like he's just kind of been a constant in the comics world for so long, and there's probably not a character that he hasn't drawn or done. That would be an interesting question to maybe ask John Romita Jr. Like, is there a character you haven't drawn because he's been at it for so long? But also there's a famous inker on this, inker and colorist on this journey, and that's Klaus Janson. Klaus Janson's probably most famous for his Daredevil run with Frank Miller. So a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of 90s heavy hitters in this Thor book. And so that's the cast. That's the crew that is bringing us this volume of Thor. But Eric, I feel like since this is your baby, this is your child. But like you should have the initial, thing to say on Thor issue 1 from this run.
Thor issue 1. I mean, listeners, when Ryan's referring to this being my baby and my child, it's because I think I like this run more than anybody that I know. And it's not like my world's favorite run. I just like it a lot more than a lot of people do, I find.
Which is fair, yeah.
So we start off in issue number 1. Thor is in New York. We have references to, like Ryan was talking about, Thor is sort of back, and he wasn't around for a while, and now he's back. I love the street conversations. We get a lot of that in this run. The street comments of, wow, look at the shoulders on that guy, and he's taller than I thought he would be. And just the little like peanut gallery comments in the crowd is absolutely fantastic. But we start off in the main, I guess, plot point in this first issue is there is a hostage situation in a daycare. And somebody is saying that Heimdall is holding these children hostage, and Thor's like, wait a second. Like, Heimdall, my boy Heimdall?
I love that guy. Yeah.
So he goes to investigate, and he's like, I don't think that's Heimdall, but just to be sure, the guy keeps asking to be brought to Asgard. And so Thor's like, let's, it's like, it's not that far outside of the realm of possibilities that maybe it is Heimdall. And he like had his memory wiped and he looks different. I mean, it's like, it's a comic book that could really be Heimdall. But then he gets to Asgard, and the guy kind of breaks the ruse, and it's obvious that he's not really Heimdall. Thor is, sort of, he kind of knew it was going to happen, but he's kind of sad at the same time because he's alone and has not been able to find the other Asgardians. When they're up in Asgard, it is in ruins. The Rainbow Bridge is broken. Asgard's in ruins, and it's sort of, I don't think it's explained really why that's the case. Thor, and that's sort of extra traumatic for Thor, of just like he is realizing that it's in ruins and nobody's there. And Ryan, do you remember if it was actually explained why that's the case?
So there is an editor note, and this is probably a little bit of extra homework we should have done. We kind of said we were going to stick with the main book because we're roughly following the omnibus trade groupings of the issues, but there was a small editor's note that said see Avengers Volume 2 Issue 1.
Now I did check that out because I'm the prince of preparedness, so I went back and looked, and Thor comes back, and it's this big full-page reveal of Thor returning. I think he actually busts through a stained glass window or something. Thor comes back in a dramatic way, and Thor sees Asgard in ruins, and he's like, no, it's like Planet of the Apes style. Like, I can't believe this. So I don't think he gets an answer as to why it actually ended up that way. He's finding it already in ruins. If
there are other more minor princes of preparedness out there that might know why Asgard is destroyed at this point in Thor's history, please hit us up on Instagram.
We're going to find out eventually.
Oh, okay.
The story, Dan Jurgens will tell us at some point.
Okay. Well, in that case, don't tell us.
So don't spoil Ryan. Ryan needs to read the story still. Yeah.
Jurgens will deliver. Anyway, moving on with the plot, we see Jake Olsen and his coworker. What's his coworker's name? But it's Demetrius. Yeah. And they are EMTs working on an ambulance. They get called to the docks because there's some shit going down in the docks. And we find out it's the destroyer attacking the docks. And all the Avengers are there, actually. So it's this big Avengers. It's really kind of sort of like a crossover at the very start of this reintroduction of the heroes. And they are taking on the destroyer. It's obviously a super big challenge because the destroyer's basically indestructible. The destroyer at this point has the soul of Colonel Preston Case in it, and he just touched this black coffin sarcophagus thing that must have contained the armor, and that's how his soul got sucked into it. So he's a mindless destroying machine. Really, there's nothing else we really know about this military character other than he's now in the armor, and Thor's going to go try to stop him.
Well, one thing I just wanted to follow up on that real quick, Eric, that they don't why is the destroyer armor or the coffin, why is it in the possession of the U.S. military?
They found it, and I think they're going to try to use it as a weapon. There was a footnote saying the destroyer was last seen in Hulk 371 or something. So they are referencing of last time that it was made an appearance, but I think they just have it in their possession and they're talking about using it as a weapon. Okay.
Well, mission accomplished. You used it as a weapon.
Right.
And I mean, you almost took out all the Avengers, but you mainly went after Thor. And I'll just be straight up honest with everybody listening to this. I have a love-hate relationship with John Romita Jr. art. There are some things.
We're going there.
Well, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not. I think the man himself is awesome. His work ethic and his stuff on Instagram is phenomenal. He seems like a wonderful man. But there are some images of his that I'm like, ugh, I don't love that. But then a lot of his big full page splashes, I loved. A lot of his more heroically drawn Thors on big splash pages, I loved. The fight between Thor and the Destroyer at the end of this issue, I really enjoyed. And I was like, hold on, am I just one of those unwashed basement people that doesn't know better?
Maybe if you took a shower, you'd know better.
I was going to say that, Ryan. Just take a shower, man.
It's daunting. It's scary. It's intimidating. But I I think one thing, my little like bugaboo with JR is going to be the way he draws lips. I kid you not, guys. The way he draws lips, it gives me the ick. I don't know why.
You're gonna plant this in my head, and now I'm gonna not be able to unsee.
I'm sorry. I can't get it out of my own head. But Faz, what was something from the first issue that jumped out to you that I don't know, you feel like needs highlighted?
Thor's lips.
Well,
No, I think it's a fun kind of return to form. I like that we get all the Avengers right away.
Yeah.
I love the mystery of Asgard being destroyed, including the Bifrost. It's a very fun one. We get a lot of cool splash pages. JR similarly, he's not my favorite artist, but it's a cool style to have, and it'll be fun to be with him for a while. And yeah, I like the classic costumes, or I guess, are they classic for the other characters? That's a question for you guys. When everybody's being reborn like this, Thor's obviously classic. Is everybody else like, is that Hawkeye look the way he looked, or is this?
Yeah, no, that's a classic Hawkeye look.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan of the Scarlet Witch in this issue.
Yep.
Very 90s.
Wanda kicks ass.
Yeah.
So speaking of JR art, did anyone get a little bit of like Simonson vibe from him?
Mm-hmm. With
the hatching of like the line work, or maybe that's Janson, like doing the line work there. But I got Simonson vibes from some of the panels.
Yeah, I think so. It's that sort of cartoony in a stylistic kind of a way. Some of the images, some of the faces, honestly, it's almost like they're trying to see how few lines they can use to still have the face come through. So there's this like economy of brush strokes, I think, that makes it look simple but still conveys a lot of meaning still at the same time. So I can see that. Yeah, I can see some Walt kind of mixed in there. Some
influence there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there had been, obviously, did a lengthy run on Thor, but also like Ron Friends had done a run on Thor, and this JR is probably the most consistent artist we're gonna have on Thor for a long time, because like we've had this discussion in pre-games and bonus episodes before. The classic understanding of like a artist on a book is like 30, 40, 50. Kind of like high numbers. Nowadays, if an artist is on the same book with the same writer for like 10 issues, that's like, oh my gosh, like we have to have the omnibus of those two, creators.
Yeah. They were on the book for the whole year. Oh my gosh, that's commitment to it's like, yeah.
Which obviously, like the comic book industry has changed, and we don't know how that works, like behind the scenes, and how artists and writers and editors, like how they all like kind of switch the chess pieces on the board around. But probably since Ron Friends and Tom DeFalco's run, that JR and Dan Jurgens are probably the most consistent duo we're going to get. I think that's pretty fair to say, I guess. But anything else about issue 1 we need to talk about, because Thor is dead at the end of issue 1.
Yeah.
So just
spoilers.
I was going to say, just to close out the main plot points to get us into issue 2. So Jake Olsen is one of the EMTs that we see responding on the scene with the destroyer. Jake is caught in an exploding car while he's trying to rescue someone, and the destroyer lifts the visor and shoots Thor. So Thor is a smoking husk on the ground at the last page of the issue.
And there's that bit of like prophecy with the destroyer's visor, that if the visor is lifted, that it will mean like the end of the world, because the power is like so uncontainable, and really it just kills Thor. Like, I know that's a big deal, but like, it's not the first time, it won't be the last. So the second issue, I'll take this one just real quick. We start off with Thor going down to hell, and we meet, how are we going to pronounce his name? Is it
Marnot?
Marnot?
Is it not Marnot? I imagined he was French.
I've been saying Marnot in my head this whole time.
Well, Baz is probably more, he's more familiar with French than we are. So we're gonna go Marnot.
I just feel like Marnot makes him sound more suave.
Yeah.
Marnot sounds like
he is sort of like, his face is almost like a jester. He could be a little bit sort of fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it almost gave me like a little bit of Malekith vibes. Like
yeah,
he's very,
for sure.
I don't know what I want to say. Like almost whimsical, like in how he like pops into Jake's life and pops out. But we see Hela, her soothsayer priestess, Vola, I believe is her name, and Marnot shows up and basically says like, "Hey, an innocent guy named Jake died, and Thor's astral projected, I don't know, afterlife ghost is like, oh, I'm really sad about that. So how do we make this good?" And Marnot basically says like, "Hey, two will be one," kind of thing, and we end up in a Freaky Friday type of situation where Thor is in Jake's body and he has to exist as this person. Well, then we get dropped into these slice of life like little moments with sorry, I apologize, I skipped the major part where Thor comes back and the Avengers all fight the Destroyer, and they end up defeating the Destroyer, get rid of the Destroyer, jet it off into space, and then we start getting these slice of life stories with Jake's fiance, who I have strong feelings about, guys, and I don't think they're positive. But then at the end of this issue,
why
am I not allowed to not like her?
Why don't you like her?
His girlfriend Hannah?
Yeah, what's wrong with Hannah?
What? Let me finish the recap real quick, and then we'll get to Hannah.
This is such a strange take. I didn't realize. Why would you hate her?
I don't.
Jake's the one who sucks. What are we doing here?
Okay, hold on. So speaking of Hannah and Jake, we end this issue with Hannah showing up to Jake's apartment, thinking that Jake is still dead, and what do we know? Jake is just in there in a towel, but it's like, who are you? You're talking weird. Where am I? Thor's trying to just get his bearings, and Hannah's relieved that Jake is actually alive. Okay, Faz, do you want me to answer your question now?
Yeah.
I think I don't know if she's meant to be written as overbearing, but I kept hearing overbearing in her dialogue.
She just wants him to actually stick to the commitments that he promised her he would do.
Okay, maybe that makes me an asshole.
It's not overbearing. Like we got to get further into the journey into Jurgens to have this real fight. But like, I can't remember if it's book 3 or 4. But like, Jake/Thor does something that is so worthy of Hannah's ire in one of these later books as we get there.
Let's just say she's got he needs to propose already energy, but rightfully so, right? Because like she's like, you need to like, don't forget our date night, and I'm putting up with you doing all these overtime shifts, and I support your career, but it's getting old, and when are you gonna freaking propose? That's the energy I get from her.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be wrong on a lot of these takes. I'm confident of that. But I was reading it and I was like, God, what is wrong here? Eric, what did you think about issue 2?
So Marnot, and I'm just going to keep calling him Marnot because
you got to call him Marnot. We're being French.
But what if it's pronounced Marnot? Well, let's split the difference.
Look,
and have one of us.
Okay. I'll say Marnot then. You have to say Marnot.
No, I can't because I'm gonna screw it up.
I'm just trying to mess with his head.
Really
He's got to decide.
Marnot is just this big mystery. I totally agree. We've got Malekith energy there. He's sort of a trickster. He's super powerful. He has reality warping godlike powers and can just make these things happen. And that's a little unnerving because we've just met him and we don't know anything about him. We don't know if his intentions are good or bad or somewhere in between. But he's trying to help Thor out by bringing him back to life and not having his soul claimed by Hela. But he does it in such a weird, frustrating way where Jake Olsen is not actually brought back to life. And Thor is not. Thor is. I guess Thor got the better end of the deal because now it's really just like Thor's consciousness in Jake Olsen's body, and that's such a weird thing because he has some recollection, some vague memories of Olsen.
Yeah,
but he's not really Jake Olsen, and so he's kind of playing the part of boyfriend, and it's icky. It's real icky.
but it is a fun reversal on the formula, right? After 420 issues of the old way of when I'm Donald Blake, I'm fully Donald Blake, and when I'm Thor, I'm fully Thor. Now he's like, who the fuck is this guy? And he like looks in the mirror and he's like, what? That's what I look like now? Well, that simply won't do. I'm not even 6'5". My biceps aren't even the size of a skull. What is going on?
But I think I'm willing to go along with it again since I'm Faz and I are reading every Thor comic. I just go along with it now. I'm just so laid back as a Thor consumer. And so I'm like, yeah, I think I chalk this up to it's Marnot's fault. Like it doesn't have to, Thor would not have arranged it like this on purpose. Right. And so it's okay if it's weird and odd and I don't feel super comfortable with it. Maybe I'm not supposed to feel super comfortable with it. Right. And
I think that's right. We're supposed to think it's icky. I think they can't have been thinking this was a great thing.
Yeah.
Unless if we've come a long way in consent from 1998 to 2025. Oh shit. We've come a long way.
Oh shit, we have. Yeah. My goodness.
But one other thing about Marnot.
Marno, but yeah.
Marnot. See, this is more fun to say that way.
I swear to God, man, if you try to make me to speak French again, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
You can pretend you're Cajun. You guys love Gambit.
No. Eric can get
I could see Eric's face. Eric's face was like, oh shit, I do like Gambit.
Oh, I could
see it.
I could do a bunch of really bad French Cajun. That'd be fun.
The face he made, listeners, if this is ever a video podcast, you'll get it. But he went from like, I'm right, it's going to be Marnot to, oh, Marnot, you say. Mon chéri.
Eric gonna make a name for himself. But I kind of get Beyonder energy from him. Like the unlimited power, like we don't know what he can actually do, but he's also very like childish and whimsical about it. Kind of like the Beyonder in Secret Wars. But anyway, that's my thought popping in there. Anything else about issue 2 that we need to break down? Basically, we have our new status quo at the end of issue 2. Mm-hmm. Jake is going to be, Jake Thor Jake, however we want to differentiate it. He's going to be doing these like, oh, I'm a hero. I've got to do things for the good of mankind. But also, am I like going to marry this chick or not? Forsooth, I do not want a betrothal. Eric, do you want to take issue 3, or Faz, do you want to take issue 3?
I think you guys keep going ahead. For the Journey into Jurgens, I am along for the ride in my classic color commentary position.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, I'll take us into issue 3. So we know a little bit more about the Jake Thor split here and how that works. We're learning more about it. So Jake has really, when he's in Jake form, he has amnesia. He thinks in terms of Asgardian speech, but when he talks out loud, it comes out as Jake. And so he's vaguely familiar with Hannah and sort of the situation, but it still very much feels like the Thor is the dominant personality there. So then we get into a different sort of plot line now for issue 3. We're done with the Destroyer stuff and we're getting on to something else here. So a submarine finds a sunken Viking ship. But the submarine is crushed by a sea monster. The ship is actually the same ship from Journey into Mystery 120, and it was in the Tales of Asgard section in the back. So this is a flying ship, kind of like the Starjammer, but it's a ship that the Vikings of Asgard would go out on adventuring. And I guess it has these jewels for eyes that are needed by Sedna, which is this sea deity, I think. Is it
like a mermaid?
She's like I think she's some kind of godly power and not just a mermaid.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. More like her look. She kind of looks like a siren mermaid.
Yeah.
lady.
A C something or other, and she's
C something or other.
A C something. You know, all that
say something, guys.
Aqua stuff. See something, say something. Thor is, I forget how he heads out there in the first place, but Sedna and Thor end up in a tussle, and Sedna is thinking, well,
it's Sedna and Jake first, isn't it?
Is it? That's probably right.
Yeah, and he can't find Jonathan no matter how hard he tries, and he's cursing Marno as much as he can.
This is the reveal of how he switches back, because I don't think they have done that yet. So he pounds the pavement with his fist, and then that's what changes it back to Thor. So he's still, Marnot didn't give him an instruction book, and so he's figuring this stuff out. But he's starting to realize, and I think he even says, "Oh, this reminds me of like when I was Donald Blake. This is how I would switch. This must be how it works." Because he's like, "This kind of feels familiar. I've done this before." So now Thor is going to take on Sedna against her ocean powers, and she summons a giant sea monster. She ties up Thor, wrangles him up, and wants to take him underwater. He's about to run out of air, but she's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to transform you into a water-breathing mate for myself." And again, heavy themes on body autonomy here for sure, you know. So he's going to be transformed into a water-breathing mate for Sedna, and that's how we end in this issue. Oh, and Jake Olsen is a douchebag, and he forgot to pick up Amanda from school.
Yeah. So Ryan, this is the thing I wanted to fight with you about. Yes, Hannah is difficult. And like a little bit kind of like, come on, Jake, I'm waiting for you to be a good guy. But like, he's doing things like forgetting her fucking daughter at the school because he's too busy.
He's fighting a sea monster.
Yeah, but Hannah doesn't know that. As far as Hannah knows, Jake just went to work and said, "Fuck my daughter-in-law," or my to-be daughter-in-law.
My daughter.
He's too busy. He's too busy sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, Jake Olsen is a scrub. No duh.
Yeah, I agree. And Hannah don't want no scrubs.
Right.
The scrub is one who won't get no love from her.
Oh my gosh, you guys are ridiculous. Scrub won't get no love.
And Jake does drive in the passenger side of his best friend's ride. This is all connected.
Stop it.
I love it.
Oh, sweet Jesus, that's funny. My favorite part of this issue, guys, was when Sedna comes up out of the water. She's like got her like, I don't know, ribbon tentacles all around Thor. It says, "I realize, proud one, that after seeming eternity of endless loneliness, I have the mate I have craved for so long." Thor, not having any of it, just like, "Whilst I am able to fight, while mine will be my own, I'll not succumb to thee." He's like, basically, lady, this is not going to go the way you want it to go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Honestly, I think it is though. Unless if there's some crazy cameo from a well-loved Marvel character in the next issue, I think Thor's fucked.
He's like, this is a strictly no bone zone right now.
This is a no bone zone. No touchy. No.
Is this also? I can't remember. Unrelated to Sedna, the thirsty sea witch, is this the issue where Pericus debuts for the first? Next. Oh, okay. Sorry. Cut that. Cut that, Ryan. Later on.
Spoilers for 30 seconds from now.
Spoilers for 30 seconds.
God damn it. But Faz, what? Like in its entirety, what did you think of issue 3? Because we kind of got our first like Jake as Thor story.
I loved how random the villain of the week was. That we went from that we went from the Destroyer to there's a sea monster, guys. Oh no! And she just wants to fuck. And Thor's really hot.
And she wants to fuck hard.
Those shoulders. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. He's carrying that. He has that big long hammer. He's probably polished it one too many times. She's ready to polish it for him.
Oh, that's going to make it into this creator spotlight too. Fantastic. Noticing a theme. Eric, do you have anything else to say about issue 3? Because we do have like a cliffhanger. Jake being, Thor being dragged to the depths of the ocean floor.
No, I thought it was. I mean, issue 3 was. It's not filler. It's trying to quickly establish some of the rules of this world and some of the status quo. But it's not really that important kind of stuff.
Right. I think Faz kind of hit the nail on the head. They're kind of a villain of the week, or well, back then a villain of the month. To like, okay, who's someone like? She's not Endgame. I'm assuming Faz. She's not Endgame, but like we need to see what this new kind of version of Thor can do.
Yeah, it shows the interaction of Jake and Thor. It's more him being a hero again. It's a good way to kind of get us into it. But again, unless if there's a cameo from a well-loved Golden Age superhero next, Thor is screwed.
Baz, I'm so glad you said that, because in the 4th issue, which by the way, these issues have fantastic titles to them, like kind of the classic sounding titles. But this one is From the Ashes. We get first few pages is an old city. This is Asgard. Yeah, it's Asgard, right? And Pericus, the dark god, the god of unlimited power, he reveals himself, and one of his accomplices, Adva. I read it as Advil. I won't lie. Then I had to reread it. And we basically we get introduced to one of our more longer, not Endgame, but longer standing villains of this run. Pericus is one part of this run I do know about because I know he factors in a lot. And it's really the only run that he's in. They recently, I think Stephanie Phillips just brought Pericus and the Dark Gods back for her Jean Grey series.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had really been in anything else since Dan Jurgens' Thor.
Well, it's a super cool design, right? Like,
I love the look. It's almost like it almost reminded me of the X-Men villain Apocalypse.
Yeah, it is very apocalypsy.
Yeah. Or Dark Side for you DC sickos out there. Then we jump back to Midgard, and Jake is now transformed back into himself, and because he's let go of the hammer, we're still doing that thing. And he needs someone to save him, and like Faz said, a Golden Age superhero, Namor, the Submariner, the King of Atlantis.
Oh, what a twist! It's not like he's on the cover.
It's not like we're in the ocean. So he basically is like, "Hey, Sedna, back the hell off," and then we see Jake surface. Namor goes and fights Sedna more. He encounters the sea monster and basically like, hey, you are far from the first sea monster I have wrangled, these meaty mitts around. So then we get Jake. Jake, in his like channeling into Thor, he does have a really cool line where he's talking down the monster, but he hasn't turned into Thor yet. These are some of my favorite lines of the issue. It says, I call upon you for the last time, Mjolnir, for you were forged by Almighty Odin himself to do my bidding. For some reason, ever since Marnot changed me, there have been times you have not responded. And Jake, talking to Mjolnir, says, I say thee nay, in the name of Asgard, in the name of Odin, the master commands you return. And then Mjolnir, who had flown into the mouth of the sea monster in the previous issue, is pulled out through its neck, and Jake catches it as he's surfaced on the water and changes back into Thor. He and Namor beat the shit out of this sea monster. Sedna is like still thirsty as fuck, and she still wants Thor in a bad way. I did screenshot a lot of these things she says, so they might show up on our Instagram, everybody. And then Namor and Thor, like Thor tries to basically be like, okay, Namor, like maybe you can help me, maybe we can help each other. And Namor's like, nope, peace out, dude. I'm gone. Like as quickly as Namor shows up, he is gone. Like just a few pages later, we do see a little bit of a slice of life thing where Demetrius actually went and picked up Amanda because Jake was dropping the ball. But then we see Thor standing outside of Hannah and Amanda's apartment, and Demetrius is at their apartment, and they're talking, they're discussing, kind of like, oh, Jake's been kind of weird since that incident with the destroyer. Thor transforms back into Jake. Jake's like, they have a little bit of a scuffle, and then Jake's like, you know what? Actually, this is BS. I'm heading out, and he transforms into Thor. And as he's flying away, he says some interesting just bits here. He says, Hannah's like, Jake, honey, where are you? As she's running up to the roof. Thor says, nay, good woman, though I am sworn to stand in his stead, I am not and ne'er shall be your love. And he flies away. Then we get a little bit of a epilogue with the Pericus story, where we are going to get Magiston Zelia, who, by the way, like, that is the most Star Trek-y shit I've ever heard.
Freaking sweet character design again, right? Like
fantastic. I want like a Nick Klein version of this so badly. He would kick the shit out of this. And then we find out that Odin, the Allfather, is chained up in Pericus's dimension, where Magiston Zelia is, but he is their prisoner. And it takes a lot to bring down Odin, so this is intriguing. And then we see Thor grabbing a beer at a local bar, the Merry Peddler. And then we're off to issue number 5. Eric, thoughts on issue 4? Namor's big guest appearance that I'm sure drove so many issues for sales.
Yeah, I don't give two shits about Namor, but we did learn a lot in this issue about how the hammer works, where Thor turns back into Jake Olsen. Jake can sort of summon the hammer. The hammer is misbehaving a little bit because it did go into the sea monster and not come out right away when it didn't return to his hand. So there's something about the hammer kind of misbehaving, which the hammer's going to misbehave. I mean, that's a very classic Thor trope at this point. I thought it was metal as hell having Odin chained under a mountain, like this giant rig, and it's just he's in irons, and it looks like there's some kind of tension there where it's holding his arms out, and it's just he's in the bottom third of the page, but it's a full page panel. Yeah, it's a full splash page, just showing the weight of this mechanism of this thing above him that's either going to like crush him if he gets out or something. It's pretty cool. I thought it was so sad that Thor invites Namor to go get a beer with him because all of Asgard is gone. He's got no homies, and Namor's like, no
drinking buddies.
He goes drinking by himself, and all the fishermen are like kind of giving them a weird eye. Like, there's that guy that thinks he's a god. Like, what's up with him? And he's drinking by himself. So it was sort of, I really felt for the character moments here of like, yeah, Thor he's trying to kind of go through the status quo and find his new normal, but like stuff's just not normal, and he's trying to fit in still.
Yeah. Faz, what about you, man? Issue 4. Did it do it for you like it did it for some?
I think we have an Odin cosplay that you can do, my friend.
It's a freaking dish towel.
just a loincloth.
Chains, spread eagle.
Chains, spread eagle. That's the way I want my Ryan Doe's right there.
When it comes to attractiveness, I would like to consider myself a confident 3. I am not going to give myself any more any higher.
You could totally you could pull off that Odin look. I think. Eric, do you agree?
Butt ass nude in chains.
No, you're not nude. No. You got a loincloth on, man.
Come on,
I said practically.
It's like you're trying to make it sexual. Don't make it sexual.
Yeah, it's not sexual. It's just badass.
I don't know why, but 2 of my best friends say it's not sexual. It's sexual.
Don't worry.
I don't know why it's funny. No, look, I will not send you these pictures of this cosplay.
We can put it on OnlyFans, the 2 of us. It'll be there right. It'll be there right beside Hercules holding his enchanted club and me polishing my Mjolnir.
Good sweet Jesus! Oh my gosh, but Faz, you know what? I take back. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you thought about this issue.
No, but in all honesty, good fun issue. I still like the splash pages. Again, I'm warming up to the art a bit. It's planting the seeds for some fun stuff. If only I knew what was coming. Just kidding. I'm omnifascient, and of course I know what's coming. But it's I really like the Pericles stuff. I find that really interesting.
I'm excited to see more of it.
I don't know if we know what their group is called yet, but it's a cool name, and I'm excited for us to get there.
Eric, do you have any other final thoughts about issue 4?
It's where things are really kind of starting to get good. Really enjoyed it.
So
Not that other things weren't good before, but I feel like we're sort of like, okay, we're on our way now. We have like a bigger bad than just the Sea Witch.
right. We know a little bit of what our like long term story is going to at least revolve around.
Yeah,
Is these characters that are at the prologue and epilogue of these issues. Very, very Simonsonian in the way he's doing this with the searcher, like the doom thing. We're foreshadowing pretty
ABC plots in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I love when a book does that, like where our A, B, and C plots are clearly laid out for us. The next issue, Eric, you were talking about how hammers often misbehave, and this issue is called My Hammer, My Enemy. So, what is this story, Eric? Issue 5.
yeah. This I really really enjoy, and I think this flavor of social commentary and a little bit of politics and stuff getting in here. This is where I think the Jurgens run comes alive for me, and I hope we get more of this kind of stuff in the future. I actually have the memory of a goldfish, so I forget a lot of what happens, and so
I'm surprised. So, listeners, I read this more recently than Eric did, but I think I know almost everything that happens. Or sorry, Eric read it more recently than I did. I think I remember everything. I don't think he does. So I'm excited for him to get where we're going to go.
Give it a shot.
Oh, he doesn't mean this issue. He just means like what's coming with some of the political stuff.
I mean the entire run, Ryan. Like, yeah.
So don't spoil it.
I got to be careful.
Chucky Diamond on his radio show, and it's one of those like talking heads. Howard Stern. Who's the angry bald guy that yells all the time? That's like all of them, right? So I don't know.
Rush Limbaugh, my friend.
Limbaugh. He, very critical of Thor, just sort of waxing poetic about how, we don't know what this guy's deal is. Is he dangerous? Is he good for society or not? Like sort of just throwing shade on this whole thing, which if you had literally a Norse god come to your town that you don't know that much about, yeah, wouldn't you be sort of sus of like, sorry, that's more modern slang.
Yeah, I was going to say that is recent slang, my friend.
You'd be super suspicious of somebody like that. I don't know if I have one off the top of my head here.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much.
I don't have one, but
gang.
But it's also funny how eternally relevant this is of like the pseudo political, very opinionated talking head with a microphone is sort of spreading their perspective and their it's I don't want to call it like propaganda, but they're very opinionated and they're putting out there for anybody who wants to listen and
just asking questions.
They're just asking questions, right? And so we get into this idea of we start to see who's listening and who's not, who sort of agrees with Chucky and who's sort of like saying that guy's full of it. And it just introduces a lot of just how does the world react to this superhero and how does New York responding and thinking about this. We move ahead with some of the other plot points. We know that Jane Foster is now a doctor working at the hospital with her husband, Keith Kincaid, who we first saw way back in like Thor 136. So that character's been around for a long time. Jake Olsen performs, this played out like a TV drama. Jake Olsen performs a procedure on somebody who I think had a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. His airway is obstructed, so he's going to do that thing where like you cut into their throat so that they can breathe because there's something blocking the airway, and he is not certified to do that, but he has these latent memories of Donald Blake, who is like a world-class surgeon, and he sort of channels that. So it's a little bit of a shell game here because I don't remember if Donald Blake is actually in there somewhere or not, but Thor's in there, and Thor has a little Donald Blake mojo, and so now Jake does too, but he performs this procedure to save a life and gets reamed for it because he's really not supposed to.
Yeah,
do you remember where Donald Blake is at this time?
I read it more as Thor was riding shotgun for so many of Blake's procedures that he learned how to do it himself. Not
so
that he
it's not
actually
like
had Blake's memories.
the hands of Donald Blake performing it, but Thor kind of he's like, I've seen this plenty of times. I'll walk you through it.
Like, how hard can this be? These hands have done this so many times at this point.
Step aside, mortal. I shall perform surgery now.
And it results in some fun stuff with. Does he get to talk to Jane in this one at all?
You bet your ass he does. Well, it's more alluded to that, like she's figuring out, because of how Jake is talking, that Thor is in there. Like, or it's more like when Demetrius, like during the procedure that Eric's talking about, Demetrius is like, Jake, we got to transport the patient to the hospital. Doc's going to handle him. He's like, no, it'll be too late. I say thee nay. And then Jane's like, what did he
What did you just say?
To be fair, it doesn't take a rocket. It doesn't take an omniphasient person to hear a random paramedic who talks like, hey man, how's it going, bro? Yelling, I say thee nay, to think that maybe something weird is happening.
And I just love it. Like, Jane's playing doctor and detective. It's fantastic. Also, I like the look that JR did for her. I just small little note there. I like his version of Jane.
Nice. Moving the plot along, we have a gunman disguised as not a FedEx but a FAX delivery guy who's taking a package to Chucky Diamond, and he's gonna try to basically assassinate Chucky Diamond, the radio host. And so Thor busts in and actually saves Chucky's life, but not before his hammer kind of takes on a mind of its own for a little bit, and the hammer kind of flies towards Chucky's face, and Thor intervenes at the last second, saving him. And he looks at his hammer, and it's got these eyes on it, and it's doing this stuff, and it's like, is he just seeing things? Is there something up with the hammer? But that's two issues in a row now where hammer has something going on with it. But I really love that, Thor is not, obviously Thor is a hero. Thor is going to roll with the punches, and this guy is a huge Thor critic, and he's still going to save his life because that's what heroes do, right? And so that's a great, obviously that's what's going to happen. Thor's not going to hold a grudge. He doesn't necessarily love the guy, but he is not going to let any harm come to him under Thor's watch in New York. But he does spin the hammer and cause wind to blow his toupee off. So kind of, I don't know, kind of like sticks.
That was such a good little touch.
Yeah. And I think toupee jokes in the 90s were like peak, like it was like gold back then.
Peak cinema right there.
Well, I also like towards the end there, Eric, I also love that Chucky Diamond tries to be like, hey man, if you got a minute, like, we'd love for you to record like a little like stinger for our radio show.
Yeah,
it's like,
man.
Dude, fucking read the room. Like,
look, man, it's not like we would ever ask a creator to give us a little 30-second you're listening to Across the Bifrost, right? That would be crazy.
That would be heinous of us.
Yeah.
And then we end in, we have Magistron Zelia arrives in Asgard. So she is in Asgard, up to no good. She's just trying to take shit over, right? Like, what's her plan here? She's got Odin hostage, and she's kind of just trying to fuck some shit up.
But she's not just fucking shit up. We learn what happened to Asgard in the penultimate page of this issue.
Just tell us. I forget what happened.
Okay, so yeah, like that's Asgard is transformed into a place of rot, filth, and evil. It's like this evil Asgard now. It's a dark Asgard for these dark gods because Asgard is hers.
But that's not what happened to it. That's what happens now.
That's not why.
The ruins turn into the dark Asgard.
The ruins get turned into the dark Asgard. Yeah.
I thought you meant that we found out what caused it to be in ruin.
No, that's like in a number of issues.
It's like in Onslaught or something. Didn't something happen to Onslaught? I never read Onslaught.
We'll see. Okay. All will become clear, my worthy brethren, once Ryan cosplays that Odin.
Jeez. And we do get a little blurb at the bottom of the last page that excites Eric to his core. As if this wasn't enough, Hercules.
Yes.
Issue 6. I'll take this. I'll take this one, Eric. We start off with a story, kind of an old, young Thor, young Loki story of them getting in trouble. Loki and Thor are looking out on a war council that Odin is at the head of, and Loki pushes Thor off the ledge. Thor falls into the meeting, and we get this fucking phenomenal JR big full splash page of like Kirby, the Kirby,
very Kirby,
Odin
right?
Ever seen.
Yeah.
The Kirbyest Odin you've ever seen, not drawn by Jack Kirby. And as Thor falls into the war council, you hear this big booming voice on, "Who dares disturb the council of war held by none other than?" He's just hyping himself up. He's his own hype man. He's like, "Then Odin, ruler of Asgard, and all who dwell within." And we get a little bit of a dialogue. Odin is telling Thor basically like what this is all about, and then we like beep. Jake wakes up, and we assume that tale was a dream or a repressed memory that's being brought to the surface. Marnot shows back up, and like I cannot fully describe his outfit. It is. I don't know. I don't know whether I love it or I hate it. Like, part of me kind of loves it because it's just insane enough. And then Jake's got to get going. We get a little bit of a recap of like why Marnot is doing this, what Jake is having to do now that he's bonded with Thor. Thor flies off because he's got to receive an award as Jake as the paramedic of the year. Like, is that a thing? I want to know, like, there's a paramedic listening to this. Please tell us, is there such thing as the paramedic of the year
like
award?
Someone who's never won the paramedic of the year award, unlike me, who's won it numerous times.
Sounds like a filthy loser who's just been a nominee. We show up to the meeting, and Cap is giving the award as Jake, rushes to get backup uniform. Thank God. And Jake, he rejects the award, and Cap is like, okay, well, if you don't want to accept the award, it's fine. But his boss is like, what are you talking about, man? This award is like, you receiving this award apparently means a lot for me. So you need to do it. And he's like, no. And Cap kind of gives Jake a little bit of the rub, where it's like, no. If it's it's cool with me. It's cool with me. We then get a interaction between Amanda, Jake, and Hannah. I loved this page so much because it was a little slice of life stuff, and the real life. But Jake Olsen would have not had a problem with this. Thor, the god of thunder from Asgard, he has a massive problem with this. Where Jake says, we aren't getting along so well these days, Amanda. What's something that could make us square? And is that on your slang list, Eric? Make people like square. But Amanda says, it's like teenage girl says, Giants tickets at the Meadowlands. And he's like, Frost Giants here? Nay. She's like, no, football, you dumbass. He's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I'll see if I can get some tickets. Of course,
yeah.
And Jane, of course, is just standing off like, interesting.
Like, why is everybody so dumb during this part? Like,
Sherlock doesn't know what football is.
Like, Frost Giants, that's a weird thing for old Jakey to say. Famous New York Giants fan. Like,
they have an interaction. Jane is kind of like, she's playing detective here, trying to get a little more information out of Jake. And then as Jake's walking away, he's like, well, I got to run. See you later. And Jane's like, okay, see you later, Jake. It's like, oh my gosh, you're not that clever. It's fantastic. Then we get to the cover, kind of the reason we're here. The cover told us Hercules was going to be here, Eric. And Hercules is here. He's kind of throwing his own one-man frat party. And we get maybe one of the dumbest ways that these
to get
guys
into a fight.
fought.
Yeah.
Thor's like, hey, I got some questions. Like, can we go talk to your dad about this? And Hercules basically like, am I some errand boy servant of yours? And then he throws a mug, a punch at Thor, and then Thor ends this. I don't even want to call it a fight, guys. He ends the fight so simply with throwing Mjolnir at Hercules' back, but somehow hitting his stomach.
Yeah.
And then basically Thor puts him in timeout and like smashes him through like your boy did not get a good showing here. I'm just like, this was so much Thor just whipping his ass. And
I did not notice the hitting him in his back resulting in the stomach thing, but it does show him it going around. So I guess Thor didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I didn't even notice that line. Yeah, you're right. I just
see, it's all good.
But that's even weirder though. Like why? Why would it do that?
Just hit him in the back. He's like,
well, you know what it is? It's because it would be dishonorable to hit him from behind.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
He was just trying to bring him over.
But like it's equally dishonorable to surprise him while hitting him from the front while boomeranging Mjolnir. Like that doesn't make him a
like technically I didn't hit you in the back.
He's like on a technicality, I'm still honorable.
Technically I wasn't a shitty friend. Thor, it says, I need to speak with thee of matters most urgent, so urgent that there may not be time for playful sparring betwixt friends. Why didn't you say so? If that which troubles thee is so omnipresent, the strong right arm of Hercules is at thy service. Hast thou not learned that we are more than friends? That in truth we are brothers? Yeah, thou wilt accompany me to Olympus. Sorry, Faz, did you say something?
I just said, yeah. I love when Thor and Hercules are boys like this. I'm looking at my Hercules right now and making heart eyes and a little heart emoji.
Have you forgotten? We're not just friends. We're practically brothers.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
I also love the like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Oh, we're not just having fun. Oh fuck, sorry man. Yeah, how can I help?
Wicked sorry, bro. Yeah. I didn't mean it. So then they're of one mind. They're going to go off to Olympus. They're going to get Zeus's help, and then they show up in Olympus, and it is in ruins, similar to Asgard. Mm-hmm. And then we see at the bottom right hand of that last splash page, next, the wrath of Zeus. So, Eric, you are our Hercules. What did you think of Hercules' debut in the Jurgens run of Thor?
I absolutely loved it. This is Hercules before he got sober. So we love rowdy, rambunctious Hercules. We also love sober Hercules. He's been on a bit of a journey, but this is back when he was still drinking like a fish. Yeah, he's trying to just delight everybody in the bar. He's lifting a chair with 3 women on it from one of the legs, and the leg is not breaking off. So that's pretty impressive. But
not only is he strong, he's very gentle.
Yeah, this is the construction of this chair is amazing because it's holding the weight of all the.
That's actually the most amazing part of the issue.
Yeah,
the chairs,
the physics of how he's holding that thing.
Integrity.
The wrist strength alone is impressive.
Yeah.
But no, the fight is it's rowdy, it's rambunctious. The reason that they're fighting is it's literally the dumbest thing you can possibly think of. But I think they're just really eager to get into a fight because that's kind of how they say hello. There's like, you want to have a quick brawl? Let's just fight a little bit.
Yeah, I have missed a punch in the face from my brother Hercules.
in the first 230 issues now, I think every time they've met up, they've fought first, right? It's just the thing they do every time.
Yeah,
so of course it's going to continue into 500s. Yeah,
it's so brother stuff. Well, I don't know if I've ever asked this, guys. Do we all have brothers or not? I have 2 brothers. I'm the youngest.
I've got an older brother, younger sister.
Okay.
I have a younger brother, and I have 2 half sisters from my dad's first marriage.
So hold on. Faz is the big brother. Eric, you said you had an older brother?
Yeah.
And I have 2 older brothers. So in the Thor Hercules dynamic, who's the older brother? Who's the younger brother?
I'd say test?
Thor is more mature.
Thor's the older brother for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think I just wanted to double check. we all have brotherly experience, and I was just like, what are we looking at here? This is Hercules has also got a little bit more of that like immature fire in him at this point.
Yeah,
but then like in the Al Ewing run that we've been reviewing over 2 years now, which is crazy. But in that one, Hercules has matured a little bit, so it's like, oh, are they finally like peers?
Well, they're on parallel paths. Hercules just started later, right? Is kind of the way that I would describe it. Like Thor's been doing it for longer. Hercules is getting there, and that's why this is a bit of a non sequitur, but it's important that we talk about this. Eric, they're rumored to have a Hercules project, either a movie or a show coming to the MCU, and I think it's gonna be really fun to see Phase 1 Thor again.
They better have a project.
Oh, Phase 1. Okay. Hercules as Phase 1 Thor.
Yeah. Like because Hercules acting in that way. Or perhaps Love and Thunder Thor. That's very Herculean in the way that he's portrayed for most of it until he kind of gets his seriousness back on. Anyway, we should probably jump back into Jurgens.
Sorry, I thought Eric was going to comment on that.
Me too. We just see his smile and wait.
I'm just thinking about all the things that I want them to do with a live action Hercules and to not screw it up. And I have that, I think a lot of fans can relate to this fear that you almost can't let yourself enjoy the idea of it because you also have this fear that they're going to like do something wrong or really weird with it. And it makes you nervously excited for it.
Ignore that impulse and think about the impulse from reading every Thor comic. No matter what they do, that's the story that is worthy, it is valuable, and it is still enjoyable because comics are weird. That's the energy you have to take. Thor can be Thor 1 Thor, he can be Love and Thunder Thor, he's still Thor the whole way through.
Oh, comics are weird as fuck.
Brother, the storm clouds are parting and the sun does shine again.
Very good.
But Faz, what did you think of Thor and Hercules' our introduction to Hercules in Jurgens' Thor?
I think he's fun. Similarly, I think it's ludicrous that they fight every time, but this is like number 15 of fights, so whatever, it's all good. I also like that it seems like every 100 issues we get a Thor-Achilles fight, which is important for, again, the deific duo's journey into mystery. So everybody please join our road to 800, because every so often we get a Thor-Achilles fight, and with each one of those issues, we're probably going to review at least one.
Right. It's kind of like, the Hulk and Thor fight frequently. Mm-hmm. The Hulk and Ben Grimm fight frequently. I feel like Wolverine fights everybody pretty frequently. There are kind of these staple fights that they just keep happening. And honestly, I don't get tired of them, guys. Like a good Thor Hercules brawl is I think it's good for business. Is there anything else we need to say about issue 6 before we move on to the continuation of our search for Zeus and maybe more answers?
No, I'm good.
Well, Eric, can you give us a little bit of a breakdown of issue 7 then?
Yeah. I'll pick up the pace a little bit. This issue can really kind of be summed up in a big misunderstanding. So Thor and Hercules, they do go to Olympus and finds, is it Olympus or Olympia? I've been reading too much Celestial crap, and now I got the Eternals mixed up with my
now
Olympus,
I don't know which
Olympia.
one it is. Yeah.
Celestial crap.
Oh gosh.
Listeners, we just read one of the most well-acclaimed sagas, the Celestial Saga, and our review can be summed up in what Eric just said, but we'll get
Celestial crap.
Please listen to Journey into.
I think it's Olympus.
For that, but yeah, I think it's Olympus as well, but I'm no longer sure.
So they find some surviving Olympic gods. Mjolnir is kind of still acting up again. Something's not quite right. It's just giving sort of a callback from when it was messing with him with the sea monster. So it turns out the dark gods made Zeus think that Olympus was attacked by Asgard. Like they literally were like, Asgard ruined Olympus. We fought. We remember fighting you. Like, what the hell are you doing here? We just fought you, and you just ruined our whole realm. And what's up with that? You got a lot of nerve. You got a lot of nerve coming back here after what you all did. And Thor's like, you got it all wrong. That was not us. Like, what's going on here? Hercules ends up believing Thor that I think he's telling the truth. Why would he lie about that? You know, he's my brother. Zeus does not believe Thor and sends both Hercules and Thor to Earth, sort of banishes them, like, get the hell out of here. And I can't believe that you wrecked our town. Why would you do that? But it's all a ploy. The dark gods were making them think that, which is sort of wild to think about, because all you have to do is to just project these memories or these illusions, and you could turn God on God and have them fight each other, and then you have to fight them.
Do your dirty work for you.
Exactly.
What'd you think of issue 7?
I was really confused when Pluto came, because he just looks like Pericles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like almost entirely, but no, I thought it was really fun. I thought it was very twisty. I liked the I don't remember the name of the dark god who can use illusions, but you guys see how Olympus got destroyed, right? You'd have to imagine something similar happened to Asgard that led to it being in ruins.
Yeah, it's very evocative of the picture we got in the first issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's cool to see kind of Herc stand up for his brother and again get banished from Olympus for pissing off Zeus. And it's nice to see other pantheons have toxic leaders as well. It's not just our Norse one. Sometimes we're stuck with, no matter where you are, the Skyfather's a bit of a douchebag. That's just kind of how it is.
Mm-hmm.
The Skyfather's a bit of a douchebag. And I feel like Zeus has kind of always been the more overt douchebag. Like, Odin has like moments where it's like, oh, maybe he's kind of doing the right thing and he's just doing it in the wrong way. Zeus is always just like, I'm a cosmic asshole.
Yeah. Which like, again, Al Ewing makes sense.
Yeah. Eric, how you want to just finish the journey for this episode with issue 8, and that'll be the last one that we cover on this episode.
Yeah, let's see. We've got a little bit more. I mean, issue 7 was a little bit sort of straightforward. It's basically just painting this big misunderstanding and explaining why, the Olympic gods are not going to help. In issue 8, we get a little bit more interesting behind the scenes with a new villain and some things that are going to be happening next. So Thor tries to teleport to Asgard. He's like, well, I'm just going to go back there. But his teleportation is blocked. He's not able to get back to Asgard. We meet this really fun, really well-designed...
fucking love this villain.
Oh, yeah. This minion, minion's a good word for it, because it's like a henchman. It's like this winged critter with wings and horns named Takots. Every time I read a weird name in a comic book, I always read it backwards to be like, is this just the name backwards?
Takots, because it is the name backwards, yeah. And Eric, do you know what Takots is backwards?
Stockot?
No, it's Takots both ways, I think, right? There's just the S changes. We just have to move the S around, and then it's Takots.
Well, no, I thought it was like a real name, like I was going to recognize it, but no, it's
no. He's all about rhyming. That's his thing.
So when Thor tried to teleport to Asgard, Takots basically, like, Thor kind of got there enough, so Takots latched onto him and hitched a ride back to Earth while blocking Thor. And so when on Thor's return trip, Takots got sucked into there, and now he's raising hell on Earth. We also have a real sick, twisted reveal that Balder is captured, he's bound, and they're just beating up on him for sport. He is... Say that again?
It always happens to him. Like, Balder is the guy that's like, hey, we need someone to beat the shit out of.
Yeah, we have to show these villains are super powerful, so let's have them kick the shit out of Balder real quick. He's like the Hulk of the MCU.
I mean, it does immediately make them appear more villainous, because Balder is such an upstanding guy, and he's like the god of light, and he's just he's a real great guy. So the fact that they're torturing and beating up on him just makes you just hate Pericus, which is kind of the point. And so Balder is apparently killed by Pericus. I'll say apparently because you never know with comics, but it looks like Balder is taken out, and that sucks. Takots is raising hell on Earth. Basically, his power is anything he touches in New York is sort of ages or decays. So anything he's touching, like buildings are crumbling. stuff's falling down, and it's because he's like aging it so that it weakens, the properties fall apart. Even I was going to say, did he touch the helicopter or did Mjolnir hit the helicopter by mistake? But anyway, there's shit's going down. There's a fight. Spider-Man shows up. And actually, in the collected issues of this, there's a Spider-Man issue that's part of the set, I think, in the trade, because something must happen. I didn't read that Spider-Man story, but Thor's hammer hits the helicopter. Takas duplicates himself by absorbing energy from Mjolnir, I believe. And so he is able to split himself in half. So now there's 2 Takats. And it's unresolved at the end of issue 8. We're still in the Takats fight leading into the next part.
Faz, what'd you think of issue 8? This culmination of our first journey into Jurgens.
I love Takats. He's my favorite new villain in a while because he's all about rhyming, and that makes me smile. I really don't know what else to say. He really did brighten my day.
You are truly the hardest of hardcore comic book fans.
Oh my gosh. I love it. He's got a stupid name, though.
Yeah, but that's the point, though. He's so stupid. He looks so stupid. He says stupid things. The other dark gods hate him. I love him so much.
He's the fool. He's the fool among. He's like, yeah, but he's family. So God.
He's our fool.
We
what
had
are we
to
gonna
give
do?
him a job. Like we were kind of saddled with this dude. Well, guys, as a whole, like our first journey into Jurgens, 8 issues, part 1. How do we feel overall, Eric? You're the champion of the 3 of us for this run. What did you think going back to it and us discussing it as a whole?
Okay, I'll go first, but I expect you guys to be brutally honest. If you didn't like something, say it. But I loved these first 8 issues. It is a wonderful, enjoyable combination of playfulness. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it does have some interesting introspective themes of planting the seeds for politics, of society. How does the world think about Thor's place in it? There is this undertone of sadness with Thor, of he's getting shaken around here. He shows up, Asgard's destroyed. He's really not loving this Jake situation, and Marnot's like, well, that sucks. Like, this is what you said, this is what you signed up for. I guess you're gonna live his whole life for him now. Good luck with that. And Thor's like, why did I agree to this? Like, I guess son of a bitch. Like, I guess I'll do it. But like, he's so you just really feel for him. So it's I think a great combination of fun status quo stuff, kind of light and breezy, but also there's some seeds here, some undertones here of really sad, tragic stuff. So just a really enjoyable mix so far. Agreed.
Faz, what about you as a whole, these first 8 issues?
Yeah, I think they're really fun. I think it's like a really interesting way. There's a lot of really cool ideas that Jurgens adding to the mythos that wasn't really there before. I like the dark gods. Thor's a little bit too serious and kind of dickish to some people at parts, but that's part of the character sometimes, and that's just my own personal taste. The art's pretty good. I'm having a good time. It's more enjoyable in a slower burst than when I did all 80 of Jurgens in a row, and I do recall really liking this first arc, so I'm really excited to see how it goes as we continue.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that real quick, Faz, like I enjoyed this a lot starting it, and I'm excited to see what the next part has in store, because I know we get more Paracus, we get more Dark Gods, we get more of that in the next little section. But honestly, upon the first read of this, I was like, man, this kind of feels a little scattershot. The Sedna stuff and Namor showing up, and I get it. Like Eric, you said it perfectly. Like they're trying to prove that like Jake's kind of like a Jake, Thor, however we want to just make that distinction. They're kind of like a man without a country at this point. They're not really at home anywhere. But it's like Thor and Namor really aren't friends though. Like so it was kind of weird for Namor to be the first person to be like, hey, I'm going to save you from this sea witch. Oh, you want to hang out and get a beer? Fuck no, man. Like, yeah, so I don't know. That was just kind of weird, and like the kind of the villain of the month thing is fine. I love villain of the month, monster of the week kind of stuff. But I am excited that we're getting more of a Dark Gods umbrella over it, and we're getting like little, like I've already forgot the name of the weird character that you guys just mentioned.
Takax. Yeah.
But he's Dark Gods. He's a Dark Gods character. So when we see them battle, like, it makes sense, and it makes sense why Spider-Man would show up there, because he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and his neighborhood is fucking all of New York City apparently. But yeah, that's just my I agree with Faz. Like, there's parts of the art that I really enjoy, and but like, God, those lips, man. It just, I don't know what it is about JR faces that kind of just like, I'm like, interesting. I don't know if I love that.
They're shaped very 90s, right? Which, when you're in a 90s vibe, it feels good. Like, they're huge, right. They're big, muscly. They're not really like anatomical, but they're cool looking for 90s comics. And like, the coloring is very 90s. Like, as long as you're in the 90s mindset, the 90s grind set, then it's all good.
The grind set. Wow. But, Eric, before I wrap up and give people all the the little like plugs and tell them where to find us, do you want to throw out any other unused slang that you did not get to performatively put into our episode tonight, or do you want to save that for a future episode?
I might save them for later. I'd say that we saw some of Jake Olsen's crib. We know that he's a scrub. We know that everybody loves him and everything always goes his way.
Yeah, always. He has got infinite lives when it comes to his chances with Hannah.
You stepped on my not joke.
Ryan hates.
Smiled. Okay, now the not joke is ruined. Never mind.
Sorry, Eric.
Pause not. Pause not.
I owe you 1,000 apologies. My bad. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm excited that we are starting off this new creator spotlight. Excited to, you say we have 80 issues or so of Jurgens? Is that
like
around
85-ish? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we got a long road ahead of us. But I mean, Jason Aaron's was over 100, and like, we're fine. We're fine. So excited to take this journey with you guys into the Dan Jurgens run of Thor. If you want to support the show at the next level, you can join Patreon. You would have gotten this episode early, and we're working on video now. I am ambitiously trying to get video to be a thing, even if it's just for Patreon people right now. But if you want to support us on Patreon, click the link in the episode description. That'll get you early episodes, bonus episodes, and things like this that we just extend to you as a thank you. It helps us pay a few bills around here, like Zoom and Marvel Unlimited, things like that. Nothing crazy. But it is appreciated. Thank you very much for those of you that do support the show. You can also join our Discord community. We are a small but mighty band of Thor crazies.
Of Ohioans.
My God, so many people from Ohio. Too many people from Ohio. Or maybe just enough. We've definitely filled our quota. We'll put it that way. But look, honestly, guy, I love hanging out on Discord with everybody. It is so goofy and weird, and I don't know. I just love it so much. But the link in the episode description is also there for Discord. And if you want to just see what we're doing on the show, sharing some panels, sharing, I don't know, things we find cool in comics, you can check out our Instagram at the link in the episode description there. So, Eric, Faz, any parting shots before we head out here and we jump aboard the Rainbow Bridge and get out of here on this journey into Jurgens?
I'm excited to journey into Jurgens with y'all.
I'm glad that we've successfully entered Jurgens, and now we'll see how the saga unfolds for us.
Jerking into Jurgens.
Come on.
No, we have to edit that. Mine would have been just safe. It was just safe.
What are you talking about?
What? I didn't say anything. Everybody, just remember, whether you are off on a journey and you're starting off a new creative adventure, you're starting off a new thing, whether there is some parts of your life that aren't really like lining up right now, and you're trying to just figure stuff out. Whether you have been, I don't know, whether a sea witch has advanced upon you, and
romantically,
romantically, whatever's going on in your life, just remember to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Bum, 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 bum.